welcome back to Radio Geonosis. Thank you for listening. We're going to be talking about Stranded on a Planet today. I am Angie.
I'm David.
Sarah.
And so we like to talk about Star Wars from a certain point of view. But before we get to that,
Tell us those hot happenings.
Yes, tell us
Oh
all
yeah,
about it.
we have Star Wars news. I'm gonna go in a certain order to make the best for last.
Yes.
Last episode.
Cover it like butter.
The first thing I wanted to talk about was, and I'm not gonna give any spoilers for those fearful of it, but as per the typical Star Wars happenings, the recent soundtrack for Star Wars Rebels, the second half of the season, basically revealed a character death, like every soundtrack for every Star Wars thing does.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
If our people are interested in any of that, if you're looking up to it, it starts back on the 19th, and then it's only going to be for the next 3 weeks after that, 2 episodes a week until the final week and the third week. And if anybody else is interested in the Rebels news, Ian McDiarmid, who plays Emperor Palpatine in the movies, is coming back to voice Emperor Palpatine for the second half of the series. So that I can't wait, because he's like top 3 character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And one other cool thing I noticed about that, the Rebels news, is that if anybody watched Clone Wars, there's a weird 3-episode Mortis arc with the son, daughter, and father of the Force.
Yeah.
That's returning. It looks like that whole like lore behind that is gonna be returning too.
Oh, I really
Rebels
like that.
too.
I
So
like that episode.
it's gonna be interesting where that goes off, because that whole like 3-episode or 2-episode arc kind of ended weird. It ended like it made sense, but it's still like, where is this going? So Han Solo trailer. Han Solo trailer 2, technically. We had a teaser drop during the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Go Eagles. And then after the day after that, they released like a minute long, 40-second long, small
almost
trailer.
Almost 2 minutes. Just short of 2 minutes.
Yeah, so did you guys see it?
Yes.
What did you think of it?
Well, at first, the first one was a little confusing, but a lot of people were writing on Facebook. Oh, they weren't sure about it. They were kind of, there was a lot of mixed reviews on that. But I kind of view it as like Rogue One, because it really didn't show a whole lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, I'm not sure about this, but I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be really good.
I think it's going to be good too. I think it's going to be like they're going for definitely like the Guardians of the Galaxy, like.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
You definitely got the Guardians
You got
tone.
the Guardians, and both of them being under Disney, like you understand like the direction they're going, but it looks good. Like I had nothing wrong with it. Like there was nothing wrong with it for me. But of course, when you see a Star Wars trailer, you just want to see more. You're just ready.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Especially this one was just like.
Yeah, you immediately have questions. Like immediately, like
No, this.
what, when, who, why, like.
Exactly.
It was all glory shots too, which I think that's what a lot of Star Wars trailers are now, because they're trying not to give anything at all away.
Right.
But it was a lot of glory shots, and I think that's what made a lot of the internet that didn't like it go ew. It's because but to be kind of fair to them, we didn't really see anything other than.
Yeah, we didn't.
And you don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, exactly. We only saw just short of 2 minutes of a 2-hour movie. So yeah.
But the second trailer looked even better. It
did.
looked even better.
It did.
Although they took my favorite shot out of the first trailer out of the second one, they had in the first trailer they had shot of Pimp Lando with his fur coat on, chilling, and then in the second trailer they took that shot out, and then they had him in still regal clothing. But I was like, I want that fur coat way more.
Oddly,
I just want him in that all the time.
I thought of Game of Thrones.
He did. He did look like Jon Snow, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that immediately came to mind.
Yeah, it looked good. It did look good. I'm very, very. I think we were all amped, especially during the Super Bowl when I was at a Super Bowl party, and then when it came on, there were a few Star Wars fans, so it got really quiet and loud at the same time. People were like, "Shut up!" And then so the trailer, the teaser on the Super Bowl Sunday, it looked good, but then. You just get too amped. You're just ready to see the movie. You have,
exactly.
All these questions. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I wasn't reserved to see it because it's a Star Wars movie. Of course, I'm happy for another one to come out and go see it. But I was constantly just thinking, how is this even going to look? Where is this going to go? I've read Han Solo's old origin story.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a lot of it's going to be inspired by that. But still thinking, how are they going to do this?
In the trailer, did you see anything that was like, oh, that's from the book? Did you see anything like that?
Han Solo being pretty much Imperial at the Imperial recruiters, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, but because there's no context. That's what's so hard with it. Is that was the only context was he gets recruited to the Imperial Academy. Mm-hmm. He wants to become a pilot.
Yeah.
Then for lack of any explanation whatsoever, other than he had a different mindset or it was open-minded or something,
Do you think
he
they're gonna
leaves.
try and keep it close to what the books were?
I don't think so. I think they're gonna definitely be heavily inspired by it. But it's the same reason that episodes 7, 8, and upcoming 9 didn't go from the old books either, is all the Star Wars fans already know those stories. So what are you gonna
Right,
get out of a
right.
movie?
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering if they're gonna try and run
Definitely
down the
might do
same
some
way,
things.
or
Like
After
there,
the book, we'll see.
yeah, there'll be
Yes,
like
definitely.
same like plot tempo, like Han Solo is an orphan, Han Solo gets recruited,
yeah.
and then Han Solo
Step by
saves
step.
or meets Chewbacca. Like there'll be like those, like I think the beats will be the same, but the
in-depth-
context and explanation will be
Yeah.
vastly
They're just gonna
different.
do their own movie.
right,
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
they're just gonna do their own movie, just add stuff in.
Because it's so hard now that they destroyed all that old canon, is because you have to, you have to, you know, how do you say, like, you have to appease the old fans,
Right.
but you
right.
can't give them the same thing over again because A, they're gonna be like, we saw this already, still cool to see, but B, they're just gonna they'll still tear it apart. Show it like, oh, you turned a 6 book series into 3 movies,
Yeah.
and you left my favorite part. You know, so it's like, if I'm Disney too, I'm weighing that risk, and I'm going, yeah, I'm just gonna make our own stuff,
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
easier.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
make it
I
easier
mean,
on them, too.
they're gonna tell it from what, a certain point of view.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for that Han Solo film.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
you sent me the longer video, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went ahead and sent you both the trailer that morning it
Yeah,
came out because
I really liked it.
I was like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna see this. They might have even seen it before
I
me,
saw-
but I'm like, just to make sure, I'm gonna
Yeah,
cover
I
my
didn't get a chance
bases.
to see it. I didn't watch the football game.
On Instagram, I watched I was on it.
Yeah, sadly, I didn't watch the game. I was out,
Because
so
I
didn't.
knew it was coming. Like,
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. That's when I was glued to the TV like that. Like, I didn't want to watch those horrible commercials that Sunday, but I was glued just for Han Solo.
I know they
But
were
don't you
terrible
find-
too.
Horrible. They were just regular commercials.
And like we were talking about last week, we're talking about coming out of the nerd closet, and there's a lot of geekdom now, even in football play with football.
Oh, yeah.
Watching football.
Yeah.
They are all part of. They're going to do movie trailers, Star Wars movie trailers or superhero movie trailers, right, with the football games.
That's when you catch everybody too. Everyone's gonna want to go.
Right,
check it out.
right.
Oh yeah.
But speaking, in the past you would only have commercials that were beer and Viagra and all
Fun topic. Side note: do you know what movie started the, paying millions and millions of dollars at Super Bowl? Do you know which one it was?
No.
With Star Wars movies?
No, it wasn't a Star Wars movie. It was a sci-fi movie from the '90s. The biggest sci-fi movie.
Star
In the
Trek?
90s?
Yeah. No, it wasn't Star Trek. Those were big, but those were big for nerds.
Hold on, just 1 second, just really quick. Biggest sci-fi movie in the 90s.
Particularly, I think it came out in '97. It revolutionized special effects.
The
What?
Matrix?
Independence Day.
Oh, Independence Day? Really?
Wow.
Yeah. That set the premise for.
Matrix was a year after.
Oh,
2
yeah.
years after.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Matrix. Yeah, I think Matrix was after
Yeah,
Independence Day,
Yeah.
if I remember
Okay.
correctly.
That one, I did not think Independence Day.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, the things I know in my head. I love that movie too. But yeah, so Han Solo. I think that one's coming out May
Crash on-
25th
the
too.
Crash on Independence Day was epic though.
Oh
It
yeah.
took a lot of special. Yeah, that looked really good for it being 1997.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you
So,
know
yeah,
they did
yeah,
a lot
I didn't
of
think about that.
in Independence Day when they were going through the desert? Did you know it was up here in the high desert?
Yeah, it's the
Oh, I didn't
it's
know that.
Death Valley. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's the
Yes.
Marine base that's used to be. I don't even know if it's
Near
if it's
Yucca
been.
Valley,
Yeah,
right?
it's the Marine base up there.
Yeah, yeah. I had a friend of mine who drove their motorhome right through in the movie scenes.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I
so
didn't- I
they
had
did
no idea.
and they did a lot of the helicopter scenes up here because there were people calling the police. I was up here at that time when they were making that movie.
It was loud. But
Oh yeah, yeah. They even did Fast and Furious up here.
That I heard. That
Yeah.
I heard. I didn't know about Independence Day though.
Yeah.
No, you name it, like Hangover, the
Hangover.
Drive that's been out here. There have been Terminator
Fighters
shoots
did
out
the
here.
video out here.
Oh yeah, the Foo Fighters did their video.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of cool living. I mean, this. Don't get me wrong. I do not like living in this particular place in California,
come on.
but we do get a lot of cool stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, Janet
there's
Jackson made
movies.
her video out here. Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of
that's
people.
dope.
Yeah, they're out there in the El Mirage. They do a lot of stuff at El
Yeah,
Mirage.
yeah.
So
In
it's
the
pretty
desert.
cool. Yeah.
So you guys ready for the big news?
All right,
What is the big news?
So, Game of Thrones showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss are creating their own Star Wars series.
Initial
Oh,
reaction
wow.
just
And-
right now off the top of your head. Sorry to cut you off.
Initial reaction?
Just right off the top.
Oh,
First
I'm
thing.
excited.
Okay.
I mean, because I always want more Star Wars movies. I thought that was weird that they were going to do Star Wars movies over television first. And then
Oh.
they said it's a series of movies, so
Hell yeah.
potentially more than
Hell
4.
yeah.
Game of
Hell-
Star Wars right
hell
there.
Yeah. They could they're gonna
And-
easily write
Epic
a 2
battles.
Oh
And you got to think
Epic
about this too.
battles.
2
we're
hours
we're-
for them.
Yeah.
What?
They're about to turn Star Wars into the Marvel movies, because right now we get like 3 or 4 Marvel movies a year, all in the
Yeah,
same universe. Right now we're getting 1 Star Wars movie a year.
Aren't you just okay with that?
I'm okay with that, but I would want more.
Yeah.
But,
But
you want to make sure that you don't oversaturate, so
Yeah.
that people are
Yeah.
they go into like, there's just another
He
Star Wars
wants more
movie.
because he just wants more.
oh yeah, I like a
On
crackhead.
those
Give me
Clone
more.
Wars.
Yeah.
But so like upcoming in the future with the anthology films, which include like Han Solo. I think they've announced like retroactively announced Kenobi or something.
Yes.
But like there's
My
all
heart's
the
just melted.
there's all the anthology
right there.
movies. Then Ryan Johnson, who directed episode 8, he's doing a new trilogy.
Wow.
And then on top of that, they're doing the new film series with these guys. And to add even more just chaos
Yeah.
to that, when they announced this, they also alluded yesterday that they've announced before that they are doing 1 live action Star Wars show is going to appear on like the Disney Netflix whenever that comes out.
Okay.
But now they're saying, no, we're doing more than 1. There's more than 1 in production.
But
So we're
see,
going to have
you can
multiple
go-
episodes of shows,
But you can
movies.
go forward and backwards. That's the beauty of Star Wars, is that you could go old Republic.
Yeah.
You can go during the time of the Republic, or you could even go forward. And I think they're going to be doing both. Because if you're going to do a Kenobi movie, that's going into the old Republic or
Yeah.
even the Empire.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to be, they can choose wherever they want to go. And
Yeah.
I love that we'll be able to see even a Revan movie, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm actually hoping that the Game of Thrones guys are gonna do like 4,000 years ago, that old Republic era, because
Oh,
that was all
yeah.
like massive armies. That was like as close
That
as you
was-
can get
yeah,
it to like medieval.
Yeah.
So-
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
you
to
just
what
stepped
they
into
know,
Lord of the
especially.
Rings right there.
Yeah. That would be insane though. Give me 3 months. I would definitely like knock one out.
Oh yeah,
I would
oh
love
yeah.
Give me 3 months.
So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Is that it's. I hope they just start, because the big issue with what they're doing now is, for me anyways, is there's all this like rich lore that Star Wars fans are just like that we were dedicated to it, that now kind of doesn't count. So I'm hoping they start like retroactively adding it back in,
But
even
I
if they
think
make it their own
do.
story.
I think they've gone from it's out to now it's just the EU
Yeah.
expanded universe.
Well, it still doesn't count though towards the movies. It's still the expanded universe,
Right.
but it's not. But I think some of the things are established is like Darth Bane was huge. He's the guy who started the rule of 2 in the Sith. He was huge in the old expanded universe when it was canon, and that's one of the things that they've kind of sprinkled back in was they in the Clone Wars series they actually added Darth Bane as like I guess the essential of it's like a Force ghost but Sith,
Yeah.
and so they added him back. But that's all they added back. They haven't said anything about his story.
Yeah,
I think
You know,
we will. I think we will. It's kind of left it open to where, okay, this fits here. It's like a puzzle piece. This will fit here. This fits good here. And I can see this coming back here.
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe why they brought these 2 guys from Game of Thrones, because they can bring that, hopefully, knock on wood, the ancient lore of Star Wars.
I mean, think about what if you've seen Game of Thrones, it's like multiple stories and backgrounds, environments,
Yeah,
locations, all this lore going on. So if they can handle that correctly,
Yeah.
and give enough of it that the audience needs to know what's going on, I think a huge Star Wars series is gonna be
How something
good.
like that works is that they hit up the people at Lucas or Disney, whoever you got to get in contact with to
Do
make
you
a
think that?
Star
But
Wars
do you think
movie.
that Disney may
And you
have
beg them?
hit them up?
Absolutely, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
I think when something like that's like, yeah, oh yeah, we've been wanting to do one too. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we'll be right over by.
Yeah.
You just go over and you guys just collaborate like this. Is
Like,
ideas
we'll
I
get
have.
your people and our
Yep,
people together.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much with Disney and them. No one argued. I'm
Oh my
pretty
gosh,
sure no
that-
one even got an argument.
that
Just-
was definitely
yeah,
a
you guys
home
are the
run.
one, and that was it.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure I was just the easiest meeting like ever, too.
I think anybody going in
They're
who's
like,
getting
we'll say
offered
yes
Star
to
Wars.
everything.
Everybody just drinking and eating the whole time. Like we're gonna do a movie. Cheers. Like Easy. That's easy.
But where they're saying yes to everything, because I really love that they're going to use these two guys to brainstorm some really great stuff.
If you ask me, I think it was the easiest. I think no one yelled. I don't think anyone got mad. I think
Oh, yeah.
were just like, okay, then we're gonna, and then we're gonna, yes.
But think about that. Everybody who watches Game of Thrones really loves these two guys, and for them to, yes, it sounds good. It is good.
The opening of Rogue One, when you get that crucial landscape, like just the pan, they do that in Game of Thrones all the time.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Like, so as directors and writers, I'm pretty sure they taken essence, whatever it is out of Star Wars they like and put it in Game of Thrones. It could easily mesh. If you traded Jon Snow's sword in for a light, it could easily work. Like,
definitely.
It's easy. Yeah.
But it's pretty much telling the same kind of story. It's about conquering things.
Exactly.
So
that's all we want to watch.
We want to watch everybody conquer everything.
Yeah, we want to watch the rise and the fall. That's what we want to watch. That's what it is for us.
No, I can't wait for that. And the unfortunate part about it all is Game of Thrones is kind of screwing us again because we're not getting it this year. They're postponing it till next year.
Yeah.
And
got a lot of stuff on there.
they're not even touching Star Wars until Game of Thrones is done. So
2020.
we have to, at the earliest movie I think we'll get from it is 2021, 2022.
But still, that'll give time for the next movies that are the Han Solo series, and then maybe 9.
How many solo movies are just one?
I think it's gonna
Right,
be 3.
one. But I think
three.
there was initial talks about them doing like a trilogy too, at least back when they first announced it. So, but I think how they're probably going to do it now is like they're going to do a pure standalone movie, and depending on fan reaction is whether they'll do more. But I guarantee you that now through 2030 they have a plan. They know what they're releasing every year to some degree.
But with Game of Thrones, we're talking about a lot of scenes, a lot of scenic places. It takes a lot to produce those kind of things. The same thing with like Viking. Viking doesn't come out, I think it comes out every other year because of the locations and how much epic battles and all these different things that go into it. It takes a while. That's probably why it's going to be the next project after they finish Game of Thrones.
So now that you mentioned though Vikings and directors and Game of Thrones, like I really want Peter Jackson to do a Star Wars film, but it would be the most boring Star Wars film ever for me for everybody else but me, because it would take place on one planet and that planet looks like New Zealand and Middle Earth. That's it.
Nothing wrong with that. But
I would love that.
He had to tell that Lord of the Rings story, so they don't go anywhere but Middle Earth. So
Yeah.
There's no leaving the planet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want that, just like glory shots of New Zealand again.
Oh,
Scenery.
man. How do you know that
Epic
won't
shots.
be? Yeah, exactly.
Just epic shots.
Well, that brings us to our topic for today. You're
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about seeing.
Hey, did you plan that?
Yes, he did.
Segway.
So it's stuck on a planet. So it's your choice of where you want to be stuck on and the least place you'd like to be stuck on. And for me, mine would have been Alderaan. And here's what brought me to this topic today.
You know it blows up, right?
Yes.
Okay, just make it. You're there way before that. Like that's why, because no matter what, I'm getting it out the one way or another.
Well, I mean, I love Alderaan, but unfortunately there was a small moon that floated on by and took that off the map, so that wasn't an option for me. But what brought me to Stuck on a Planet was when I watched Phantom Menace. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, they go with Queen Amidala. They have to take her to the Senate on Coruscant to talk about what's going on with Naboo. Mm-hmm. So when they're leaving, her ship is attacked by the blockade, and it does sustain damage. So they got to land on Tatooine so they can do some repair. So they're stuck on a planet. So, like I said, Alderaan would have been my first choice. It had 24 standard hours, 364 days. It was it was a great planet. It also was a planet that was part of the rebellion. They protected the Jedi. They protected the rebellion. They were part of that, and the Emperor knew it. So I think it was one that he wanted to off, anyways. But for me, Fallujah is the planet I choose. And the reason why I chose Fallujah, it has 34 standard hours, so it's got long days, and it's got 231 days. So it doesn't have a long amount of days, but the days itself are long. Like, not like Earth, 24 hours. It has exotic botanicals, and it has a greenhouse atmosphere. So it's like being in Hawaii all the time. So I could live with that. But also the Fallujah illusions keep to themselves, so you could easily hide.
Okay.
There wouldn't be a problem. Now, hands down, Mustafar is not the planet I want to be on.
Yeah, it sounds horrible.
Oh my gosh, it's so
That'd be so
there.
hot all the time.
Yeah, it's
Oh
so
my
hot
gosh,
all
you
the time.
insta sunburn right
Yeah,
there.
no.
But it has 36 hours in a day.
Nope.
So
No,
you're just
that's
like
too
frying all the time, and 412 days. So it is really a lot of pain there.
That's a hard existence. No. No.
But no thank you to that planet. Now, I find it poignant that Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin have their final battle on that planet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like being in hell, because think about it. Anakin kills all the Padawans. He kills all the Jedi and he kills anybody else that the Emperor tells him to kill. He's like,
Yeah.
he becomes a hitman
Yeah.
within a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's pretty much taken out everybody.
That's a drastic resume turn.
It's so crazy how it was just so fucked up. I'm sorry.
But yeah, he goes from this honorable Jedi to
Yeah.
a hitman, instant hitman.
Like worse than that, like you go from even questioning it, but upholding good
Yeah.
to immediately slaughtering children.
Yeah.
Exactly. All because the Emperor told him to do that. And it's the planet where I think that Darth Vader was born on. Even though Palpatine dubbed him Darth Vader on Coruscant. But he really does become Darth Vader on Mustafar.
Yeah.
And then in Rogue One, he comes back, builds his palace there. Does he want a constant reminder of what happened there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just thinking to myself during all this that Emperor Palpatine's, he has to be the most effective pimp known to mankind. If you immediately swap somebody and it's like, go kill some children, they ain't going to say no.
No. Well, he was a smooth operator, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If you watched the movie, the Revenge of the Sith, you see when he's sitting there talking to Anakin, in a way he's telling you what he's done,
Yeah.
but he's saying, "Hey, I can save your wife."
All the Master Sith and Jedi are like smooth talkers in a way.
That's
Like,
right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
That or they have a really messed up speech pattern like Yoda, and it's like, kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
He says wise things backwards.
But they had a smooth way of doing it, and he was able to convince him.
Yeah, exactly.
And so he did all these terrible things, but like I said, Mustafar is like my least favorite. I just...
No, I wouldn't want to go there either.
So David, what's yours?
Okay. This one's easy. Really easy for me. Only because I have the most messed up critique for why I would choose something and why I wouldn't choose something. So the one I chose I would love to be stranded on, and I would probably even just stay there, is a planet called Manon. It's from the video game Knights of the Old Republic, and essentially it's a giant water planet with a massive
So
above
you're
ground.
in a water park the whole time.
Well, that's the thing too. I don't know how to swim, so I feel like that would be bad. But it's just filled with underwater housing structures, a giant above city called Auto City, and it was my favorite planet when I was playing that game.
Yeah.
Just because I was like, oh, there's oceans. So
Well, I mean,
that was.
you could easily hide there if you were hiding from the Old Republic.
Oh yeah, you
from
get a
the
submarine, go
Empire,
underwater. They'll never
from
find
the
me.
New Order. Yeah, you could hide there. So I mean, if you're stuck there, it seems like it would be feasible to be there.
And I figured it had one saving throw for me too, is that at least during the time of the Old Republic, the city had a 100% zero tolerance policy for violence.
Yeah.
So like, you kill or you caught just inflicting violence, that's like practically almost a death sentence or immediate like exile from the city. So I figure that's like the perfect place to be too, because like nobody's gonna mess with me. Like I have a safety net. Now this is where it gets weird though for my
Stranded or...
for the ones I would never want to be on.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily one planet. It's actually
You can choose a couple. It's good.
it's more than a couple. It's all the ones which have high populations, because I naturally don't like being around people. So I get fed up with them really
that's fine,
easily.
for sure. No.
Oh yeah, like I would love to be
that
on
is pretty
Coruscant,
bad.
but like that would be like a cool.
Look at
That'd be
the
like Vegas.
traffic
I'd like
on
to go visit.
Coruscant.
Yeah,
If you see
it's
the movie-
layers of traffic just
Yeah.
going
No,
down.
not for me.
Worse than LA.
Yeah.
Like they could be the nicest people. It could be the wealthiest planet in the world. If there's more than like a few million of them, nah, not for me.
So you choose Mustafar. There's like what?
But it's
200
too
people?
damn hot. Actually, I would choose Hoth because I love the cold.
Oh.
There ain't nobody there, and I'm pretty sure, given time, especially if I'm stranded there, like Tom Hanks style on a freaking island.
Yeah.
I'm gonna train some wampas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have like little wampa guards. I'm gonna put them in little soldier helmets and everything. See, not only is that one keeping me away from people and putting me in an environment I like, it's giving me a project.
Exactly.
Oh, something to do.
Yeah, something to do.
I'll
yeah.
just sit on my island, Felucia, and eat coconuts. I don't.
Meanwhile, people are coming to my island and getting maimed. Like, I trained them not to do that. I'm sorry.
I apologize.
Like multiple galactic lawsuits after me. Yeah, that's me. But yeah, honestly, for me, it's like I love planets like Coruscant. I love to imagine I would be able to survive there.
But there's an underbelly there too, right? There's a
Yeah,
lot of
there's a lot of
a lot of crime.
There's a lot of
The
seedy
Godfather
people.
living
dirty
there.
people.
A lot of things going on in the underbelly of
Yeah.
Coruscant.
It's definitely the Gotham City of Star Wars.
Oh,
for sure,
definitely.
Oh yeah, it's like they gentrified the upper city and just sent all the people they didn't like,
down below.
Yeah.
It's really It's
Yeah.
really,
which makes you wonder considering there's a lot of white politicians. Just kidding.
What? No politics here.
But yeah, no, Coruscant, Taurus, any of those 12 billion
The
people
inner-
planets, no.
There would
Yeah.
be the inner core galaxy. Is that what it is?
Any inner core, just city planets, not for me. No. Like even Tatooine, maybe. Now that's like really sparsely populated, but
yeah.
still, it's like
it's still too
like
much.
when you go into a city, it's still packed.
But don't
Like-
you find it strange that a lot of ships and people end up there? Everybody wants to go back to. Everybody ends up in Tatooine.
Tatooine.
Yeah.
I wonder what that is though.
Probably because of criminals. It's like the one place you can hide.
Yeah, that's the one place. Yeah.
It's literally controlled by criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I
the
mean-
huts.
True. Very true. For me, for my planets, I had to do it for me to do homework. I had to do it from the aspect if I was training.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I was training to become a Jedi, this is where the planets I would go. So Kashyyyk would be one because
Ooh.
That was in my
the
top
reason-
list
the reason
too.
why I chose Kashyyyk was because in the Star Wars The Apprentice, the game, that's where you start off the game as Darth Vader. You start off there, and then you
Oh yeah.
you find Star Killer. So that's where his parents were hiding out. They had like a nice hut.
Yeah.
Way in the back, protected by
Very
the
Gilligan's
Wookiees.
Island.
Yeah, so I would definitely like want to be a couple Kashyyyk, and other reasons why Kashyyyk is like really nice at beaches. They have it's
Almost
very
like
green.
Scarif.
It's very. It reminds me of where like how Disney did Tarzan.
Oh yeah.
That's how like Kashyyyk reminds me of that. I would be swinging everywhere like with my
Yeah.
Wookiee friends. And I would be training. I'll be really meditating and focusing and harnessing my Jedi powers. Also, it's swampy. It's dirty. It's where Yoda was. We all know.
Oh, Dagobah.
But the reason why I chose Dagobah, like I said, I was coming from the aspect of I was a Jedi in training, and Dagobah is pretty connected to the Force, so it would only enhance. It would drive me crazy, but it would really, really test my patience, fortitude. You would really have to focus. You couldn't go. You can't really do anything there.
Yeah.
But
So
you
would really
you have to
hone.
wonder what that planet had that kept the
Yeah.
Emperor from finding Yoda.
Yeah,
There was something about that
it was something.
planet.
Yeah, it's something mystic and something weird. There's
But he
octopuses
wasn't-
down
Yeah.
there, like
Sea monsters.
It's a crazy planet. It's crazy, and for Yoda to hide out there for so long.
But he chose that for a
Yeah,
reason.
and I would want to know.
I know the old reason.
I would want to know. It's that mist. Something about that mist. It's something about
Exactly.
Jedi's, Sith, and mist. Like mist, it's just mist is always around.
It's like they
Yes.
constantly like dry ice fog
Yeah.
machines go on.
I don't know.
That's part of the Jedi training kit.
Yeah.
But it's got to be something that's pretty mystic in order for Yoda to go
Yeah.
there to pick that specific planet.
The old
So that's a good
reason,
choice for you.
yeah, the old reason before. I mean, it still
like
could be
beach shoes.
canon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it is canon or not, but at least the old reason was he went there because it was so strong in the dark side. It essentially masked him. Like the Emperor would never be able to find him there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it makes perfect sense. Although I don't know, that kind of be scary because they're like caves with monsters and stuff in them. So no, I wouldn't like because I was thinking about Dagobah too.
Yeah.
But I was like,
yeah.
but I also wanted something that wasn't like obvious, like in the trilogies of movies.
Yeah,
Like I wanted
yeah.
something that would make people think. That's why I
Yeah,
chose
yeah,
Manon.
But you know, it's kind of strange. It's kind of a turnaround because you know that the Emperor was able to mask who he was
Yeah.
to the Jedi. They had no idea who he was. They never picked up on it. But here you're talking about on Dagobah,
Mhm.
it's very dark side, and Yoda was able to hide in there.
Hide
There's
there.
something
There's
there.
something
Yeah.
about it, yeah. And of course, we all said Mustafar for me is Jakku. I wouldn't want to be there,
But everybody wants to go to
obvious,
Jakku.
they're obvious. But like Jakku had like that whatever that creature was that was drinking out of water Finn drink. That just really still sits in me. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
My God.
so I would not want to go to Jakku. It's real dry. It's hot.
Seems like a recyclable planet.
It is just a recycled bin of a planet. Like I wouldn't want to be there.
No.
I wouldn't want to be on Mustafar. We all know it's too hot. There's nothing to do. Darth Vader wouldn't even allow you in his palace, so you really just be on lava all day.
That's right.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to
So
chill at all.
I
No.
wouldn't want to be there, and I wouldn't want to be on Starkiller bases because you could get choked out if you're a janitor.
Yeah, exactly.
You could just
Swept
lose your
that
life.
floor wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't want to be on any base of any. No,
I just wouldn't want to work for anybody who thinks it's okay to kill their
Exactly.
their
Thank
workers
you.
for
Thank
just.
you. Thank you. I don't want to do that either. We have to choose my planet's base if I was a Jedi in training where I would want to go.
Right.
And enhance my skills as a Jedi.
Yeah.
And also Battlefront 2, the biggest level of Battlefront 2 was that battle on Kashyyyk.
Oh yeah, the Karachu or beach or something. Yeah.
On the beach. So I would definitely want to be a part of that battle, that history. So
Oh yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
That'd be so awesome to go there,
It
though.
would be.
I mean, that thing's already freaking
nice.
beautiful in the game. Imagine real life.
Exactly. It's all tree houses basically.
Yes.
Like, the weather's nice. It has the seasons there. I'm sure. From where it's rained there. I'm pretty sure it snows there. I think I read that it snows there too.
Really?
It's just nice. It's just a nice planet. There's mountains and it's green. It's yeah.
Yeah, that was actually one of my top choices too. Was
it's-
Kashyyyk
yeah,
because
it's a nice
only
planet.
that it goes back to the same reason from Manon. It was in Star Wars: Knights of the Republic,
Yeah.
and I love the interpretation of it in the game because in the game it's like static environments, like they won't change day or night or anything. So you go there, it's at night, it's a nighttime world,
Yeah.
and they actually
No sun?
well, no, there's a sun, but like the way the game like environmentally did
Okay.
it was like no matter when you're on it, it's always nighttime, so it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
You start up in the treetops where they have the houses and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and throughout your progress on a planet, like you make yourself down to like the
You'll
floor,
make it to the ground.
or
yeah.
where like deep in the forest where like monsters and shit are. So it was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
And they have a rich history of like fighters and warriors too. So you would definitely be trained.
Right, right.
You know, like Chewbacca's trained. They're trained in the art of battle. So like, yeah.
Right, but they're also, they were chosen to help build the Death Star because they were very techie kind of guys.
Yeah, and they're
'Cause it's-
strong. Too.
Yeah, isn't it always Chewbacca repairing the ship?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're smart as shit.
Yeah.
They're smart as hell.
Although I don't think they were chosen to work so much as enslaved, but
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. According to the Emperor, they were just chosen. Yeah, you guys are coming
Yeah,
with
you
us.
guys are just coming. You have no choice. Yeah. And Naboo's one. I would want to go to.
yeah, Naboo I'd like.
Naboo, I would want to go to.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I like Naboo because it's a type of a Hawaiian type of
Yeah,
planet. You
yeah,
know, the
yeah.
same thing with Scarif.
I just love the waterfalls. The
Oh,
waterfalls
yes.
on Naboo are so
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah.
I just hang out by those all
I
day.
just chose Kashyyyk over Naboo though. That was like my honorable mention.
Yeah. No, yeah, I would. Yeah, now that I think about it, Naboo would be a good one too because there's cities,
Yeah, it's a little bit.
but I could
everything.
stay the hell away from everybody still at the
Exactly,
same
right,
time.
right.
As long as I don't have a pasty white boy talking to me about sand, because I would just be sitting there meditating or something, and there he is. I'm like, oh,
Exactly.
Oh,
I gotta
no.
move off this planet now.
Unfortunately,
Exactly.
he's not that kind of guy anymore.
No, yeah, oh yeah. At this point, he's killing children again. So
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
no, I-
Anything in his path.
Yeah.
Remember, he's the hitman.
The hitman, exactly.
He's the hitman.
We did pretty good with the planets though.
Yeah, picking him out and which
Yeah.
ones.
Anybody? You guys have any honorable like ones you were thinking about putting on there?
Well, I told you Alderaan, but that's just so out. But I
Yeah.
really do love that planet. I
Yeah.
mean, my Star Wars character is
Yeah.
from Alderaan.
From Alderaan,
Yeah.
exactly.
But she is, and so is Princess Leia. So
Yeah.
I really love that part.
That tie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was any like. I thought it'd be cool to work on a Death Star, but that's not really a planet, and it gets blown up. So
It's a moon.
Yeah. It's a move.
technically,
But yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that'll work still.
Because I figure that's like large enough to where I could just be a shitty employee
Exactly.
and nobody would ever know.
Yeah.
Oh, he'd know.
No, yeah. Oh, he'd know. Darth Vader or the Chancellor? Which one?
It would be the Chancellor.
It would be the Chancellor. Huh?
Actually, at this point, it's the Emperor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Emperor.
Yeah,
True,
he's not the Chancellor anymore.
The Emperor.
I don't know. He's off doing his Mystic Force Sith dude stuff, wearing robes and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd notice.
I don't
I
know.
don't-
It's too huge.
No,
Yeah, I think I could get away with it.
I
If
think
it
the guy's got his finger on the pulse.
like maybe if I was like some sort of officer or something, high ranking, to where like maybe there was a bigger chance. But no, if I'm just some non-commissioned piece, hanging out in the laser room doing nothing, they ain't gonna know.
But I think they had enough. There was a lot of people on the ships, and everybody, or on the Death Star.
Yeah.
Everybody was trying to go up a rank. Everybody was trying to move up.
Which was easy since Darth Vader was killing off all his high ranking.
It could have been hard
But you
to
get
promoted.
to the
You're the
top.
manager. Really?
Yeah, you get to the top and you do one thing wrong,
Yeah,
and
you're
that's
done.
it, man. You're
He was
now.
choked to death this morning.
Like I want a whole Star Wars movie based on that. Just here is
Just an action comic.
here's the progression system to the Imperial ranks working in the same unit as Darth Vader. Like that would just because that has to be like terrifying, but at the same time you're like, well, I can get promoted tomorrow. Of course, I'm not going to screw up, but then you screw up and
you
get.
screw up and you still get force choked.
Or even you
Yeah,
don't
that's
screw
right.
up and he's just having an off day,
Get thrown across the room 100 miles an hour, just slammed on the power button. Yeah, exactly.
That would be it. That would be
And then while there, I'll just be sitting there the whole time going, why is he only killing his own people? Like I would just be,
Well, there's plenty of those around. There seem to be a lot of troops.
Yeah.
Even when you watch Rogue One, you see so many troops coming out of the base at the top, keeping the other ships
Yeah.
from going down into Scarab,
True.
but also on the planet itself. And we're talking about the whole galaxy seems to have a lot. It isn't just a small amount, whereas the rebels are a small amount.
Yeah, that's very.
which is impressive, but you got to think about how he got. I mean, it's basic recruiting. First you make the galaxy shit,
Yeah.
so you could say, hey, this is an equal way to get money that's easy and anybody can do. But still,
Or are
like
they
the
are kids forced into it?
I don't know. I would, yeah,
Could be.
because I don't think they've really touched on that. Like I know they have an Imperial Youth Academy in the Rebels, but I don't
Because
think.
when Finn goes as a child, right? And
Yeah,
so he doesn't
even know where he comes from.
he doesn't know who his parents are. He doesn't know anything about that. So are they taking kids?
First order, definitely
Yeah,
yes.
the First Order is more screwed up than maybe.
Oh, they are. First Order
Well,
is
I
Nazis
think
incarnate.
I think in the Empire they
Yeah.
are. It's choice. It's voluntary. But when they get to the New Order, I think they take.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, they're taking kids. They're
Yeah,
taking kids.
For sure.
Because in the old Republic, they see kids that were force sensitive. They took them to the temple,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it was a choice or not, or if they said, "Hey, this kid is force sensitive, needs to be trained at the temple."
Mm-hmm.
We don't know exactly. I don't know if they do that.
I know in like
The Empire was not as bad for sure.
pre Empire, like with Anakin, Obi-Wan, all that, they would go to parents and say, "Hey, your child's force sensitive," and it would be the parents' choice
To send-
whether they gave them up or not.
Yeah.
Because once you give it up, it's like you're essentially giving your child up for adoption. You're never going to
Right,
see
right, you're never going to see
Yeah,
them
yeah,
again.
or hear from them again.
Yeah. And Anakin, I think, is the only one who really knew who his parents were.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one. Yeah, at least in that era, I would
Yeah.
say. I mean, statistically, there's probably a couple more you probably knew, but Anakin definitely was probably the major one
Well, Yoda,
in that
Yoda
era.
said he was too old to be trained, and so it's obvious that they had to be almost like babies when they got to the temple. Yeah,
'cause they needed a longer influence.
right.
Oh yeah,
You know, he was already like
I think he was
already
11.
disagreeing. Yeah, he was already like.
He was,
"I don't
he was
know."
11. But then
You know what I mean?
his son goes back, and he's what 17, 18 when he is trained by Yoda. Even though Yoda said it at a prior time, no, he's too young.
Yeah,
I mean, too
exactly.
old. Excuse me, he's too old
Too old.
to be trained. But then he changes his mind with his son.
yeah. Well, he does mention it, but he more mentions it like trying to get like because when Obi-Wan starts talking to him, when like right when Luke finds out, oh, this is Yoda.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan's speaking to him through the air apparently, and Yoda mentions, but it's like he's trying to get out of it. Like, I'm not gonna do this. But it's like, yeah, he's too old. Like he's pulling shit like they threw out years ago because our order's been destroyed. He's just like clinging, like,
Oh,
no, I
he's
ain't doing
out
this
the
again.
window now. That's it.
But yeah, Yoda does mention it. But like I said, it's more so like, I ain't training this guy. No.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Did you see what his father did? We sat there. We watched those holograms together, man. He was killing young children.
Yeah, bro, I'm not gonna do it. Like you do it.
But I don't think they really knew. Well, they might have known what his true motivation was, but his absolute love for Padme. That's what drove him to that. Is he didn't want to see Padme die.
Which the irony is, at least my interpretation of all the just episode 3 in general is, it could be construed that if he didn't go to the dark side, she would have lived. I mean, in his visions he was having, it was like, I have to learn how to save her because she's going to die in childbirth.
Well, he saw what he was going to do, in a sense. He did see
So
what he was gonna
I
do.
maintain that if he didn't go to the dark side, she would have
She would have
lived.
lived.
I mean,
agree.
I mean, there's the argument of, well, she died of a broken heart because he went to the dark side. So that means if he still went to the light side, that she would have died in childbirth.
He was choking her.
Well, yeah, that too.
But
I
do you think
that's
she
more
was?
so what did
Do
it.
you think that he killed her and that Obi-Wan brought her back? Because Obi-Wan touches her, and then they put her in the ship. But he does the same thing with Luke, where Luke gets hit in the head by the sand people, and then he puts his hand on.
Oh,
her.
that'd be a good theory to research.
Yeah, because I wonder if that's really what he does, and he does it twice.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. I would like to maintain that as a non-confirmed lore in my head that he's he's one of the Jedi who could heal with the Force.
Yeah,
Force,
he could.
It
Well,
wouldn't surprise
he
me that
had-
Obi-Wan would know how to do it though.
yeah. He
Oh,
had,
yeah.
What, 17 years to practice that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
But
I'm-
he does, because we think that Padme's dead because he chokes her. He really does choke her with
Yeah.
a force choke, and so she passes out. I don't know if she passes out or if she died, because then Obi-Wan touches her.
I think he brought it back so she could have those kids.
Yeah, I
Have
agree.
kids.
I agree.
Yeah, I would.
That makes sense to me.
I would like that as an. I mean, it's all up to Disney, but I personally like. Yeah.
No, don't get
No,
that out there.
No, I like.
a secret.
I do like that though. I like the concept of him
Bringing it
healing people
Yeah, healing.
or even reviving people, but
Right.
in multiple instances of.
Because
Obi-Wan
he
could've been like,
does-
these kids need to be born.
Yeah.
But he also does the same thing with Luke.
Yeah.
And he pretty much says it's no big deal, he's bringing him back. But he got hit. Did he get hit in the head by the sand people? Yeah.
He got hit pretty hard. Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah.
Blindsided too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he had no idea it was coming. Bah! Yeah, he was out. He was out.
Because they didn't mess around, you know that, right?
Yeah,
Sand
that one.
people-
Yeah.
You don't tangle with the sand people.
I want a Sand People movie. That's what those Game of Thrones guys should do.
What?
Just like 5 Sand People movies
Oh my gosh.
in a row.
Called
That would be
Tusken
crazy.
Raiders.
I would like that only because that would be like, you think we're getting weird Star Wars movies now. Wait till you see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that one is when the children are born, they're actually put in those wraps.
Oh, are they?
Yes, they're put in those wraps.
I didn't know that when as soon as they were born. So
Yeah, when-
immediately.
Yeah, they're put in the wraps. I read that in Kenobi
Oh.
that they are put in the wraps. So that is maybe to protect them because they are considered sand people.
Uh huh. Yeah. Hence-
I would love to just
hence
go
the
and
name.
like sneak into one of their camp one night while they're sleeping, like take all their wraps off. Like, what do you guys look like? You know?
That would be interesting to research what they look like before they had those wraps on.
I know I've looked it up before and I can never find
Any kind of
discernible, but that
information.
was years and years ago. I might want to look that up again.
Yeah, because to see what they look like, but they had to do that in order to protect themselves because in the Middle East a lot of people wore the different kind of robes because of the desert.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's almost the same premise as far as wearing that to protect themselves.
Yeah. That would
We
be-
know they were
that-
good with rifles because when during the pod race they
Yeah,
were
they
trying to
snipe.
take.
No,
They're definitely they're
that
they
would
snipe.
be me if I was
was
a
no
sand
big deal.
person. Like, I'm gonna go take pot shots at racers. What are they gonna
But you know
do?
what? It's no big. The announcer's announcing it like it's no big deal.
Exactly,
They're
because
out
I
there.
can get away with it.
That's exactly why they're not
And,
saying
and on top of that,
anything.
I would be a super sentient sand person. I would go make bets before, and then I'd be taking out the people I want to take out.
Exactly
But
why they're
I'd be
not-
rigging pod
love
races.
That part in the movie. I love it in Phantom Menace where they're just, oh, there's a sand people, with their rifles taking out people,
You're on a messed up planet when they're casually talking about murder and a race for entertainment. Like,
well, the Huts run it, so we're talking.
I know,
about,
but still.
The mafia.
Yeah, the mafia.
Yeah,
the mafia, the Huts. Yeah, yeah. They don't care what goes on.
And they control so much. The way they look, they're like little worms or whatever. They're slugs.
Slugs. Yeah.
They don't look like they're the heavies, but they are.
Yeah, they're
when I was
gross.
when I was reading about the new movies, pretty much all the news that was announced, whether it was Solo or the new not trilogy, but the new series coming out, was there was talk, like people were talking about like, oh, what's going to be the state of the universe, what other movies are we expected to get, because we have the anthologies and all that stuff too. And one of them brought up, like, and it was actually in a news article too, that I guess it was, there have been rumors, like obviously really wild rumors, that there was talk about doing a Jabba the Hutt standalone film. And I was thinking, like, that probably never happened, but I think I would like to see it, like a full-on gangster movie in Star Wars.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
I mean, it would be really hard because that is such an alien character to like try and portray a character that you can reflect yourself upon in some way. But
on people, how are they able to control someone if they're
money.
A slug?
Money, and they get muscle and mercenaries.
But how do they have the money?
Because I can pay.
Trade, gambling, just the underworld, just sex trafficking.
Oh my God, the Torkles.
Yeah, bars.
Oh yeah.
Everything, all the dark shit, all the black market, basically.
Yeah, the underbelly.
Exactly. Well said. That's exactly what.
And I know it hasn't been acknowledged in this canon yet, but don't let the Hutts deceive you, because in the old canon there were Jedi Hutts.
Really?
Yeah, there was one I remember pretty well. Yeah, so they may be slow, but
if it's in the whole universe, because in the Clone Wars you did see a Wookiee that was a Padawan.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that his lightsaber was wooden.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
I swear, me and my friend Kanami were talking about that on the way here. I told him, I was like, "There's Jedi Wookiees." Like,
there is. Like, yes, there is. And the lightsaber is wooden.
Yeah.
But why they pick wood? Why did they pick wood for the saber?
Oh, because it's the, I believe it's the bark from his planet, and it's like. Yeah. And
so it's identifying marks. So some of the Padawans do know what planets they come from.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
But they don't know their parents.
Maybe their parents. Yeah.
No, yeah, they like.
Is it important?
They probably tell them, like, we found you on, or we got you from your parents on.
Well, I imagine it's important to keep their heritage with each of them too, because
so they should know they do know the planets.
Yeah. And that's probably something that they fight for too. That might be like an underlining what they fight for too. Is
their planet. Yeah, it might keep some sort of roots.
The hopes of maybe going back, maybe the hopes of finding someone from their planet. You just never know.
Or maybe the hopes of just doing something good for their planet.
Yeah, Jedi's, they go on missions, and you could just be on Curse. You could be anywhere. And someone might recognize, oh, that's from planet, and they could tell you more information or something.
Right.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. No, I would imagine that they easily keep cultural relevance for all the kids, and.
Because that's what Star Wars is.
Is it some,
it's all
or
about
is
culture.
it right? But is it some Jedi or all Jedi?
I'd say all, yeah.
Because Yoda doesn't have a planet. It doesn't really say where he's from or the type of being that he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unknown.
But then again, I think in current canon too, there's only 2 confirmed of his species, Yoda and Yaddle.
Yes.
So I think.
And it all ended with them.
Yeah. So I mean. I would love.
I don't think Yaddle will live as long as she gets killed.
Yeah, she gets killed in between episode 1 and 2.
Right.
And the canon, like, she goes on a mission and she gets offed. But yeah, so I think Yoda is the only one.
Yoda's left.
Well, the only one that we know about.
Yes, exactly. Just the 2 of them.
Just the 2 of them. Yeah.
But it's kind of a mystical character.
Yeah.
But he is he's 900 years old. I think he's one of the oldest or the oldest.
Yeah, for sure. 900. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah. I mean. See, I think too, it's so strange because I guarantee one day we're going to get a Yoda standalone film. Yeah. Whether it's 2 years from now or 10, we're going to get one. But I wondered how they do it, because
he doesn't have a known planet. He's not a known species.
It's like, because that's the thing, like, you want to keep it so mysterious because
it's came from a plant.
You want to keep it mysterious. But you have to explain it all at the same time. It's like you're gonna lose either way.
But you know what? Here's something that to think about. What if he is from Dagobah?
That would be kind of cool to like, you know,
And it would make
and he didn't
sense.
even know
Yes.
he didn't even know he was from there
But
too.
he did
Yeah.
know. What if he did
Oh,
know?
that'd be kind of cool too.
Yeah.
And he chose that planet for a specific reason because that was his planet.
Yeah.
So if all of the kids, all of the Padawans know their planets, how do we know that wasn't his planet?
No, that'd be kind of cool.
And it's 900. You have to go back 900
years.
years.
Yeah.
Too much years to spend. You couldn't get a Yoda. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe from when he's already, you know, where he established as Yoda, or maybe a little
It'd
bit
be
before. But
it'd be interesting to know, was he a child when he went to the temple? Who trained him?
Yeah, because they haven't touched on that in new canon. Like
No,
like in
not
the
at all.
old canon, I think it was something strange. Like he was an
something
adult. He was an adult, and him and a friend, and they were doing something like it wasn't smuggling, but they were essentially doing cargo work or something. I could be wrong, but they crash landed on a planet, him and his friend, where there was this like really messed up looking alien that was a Force user, and as an adult he was taught. But that's like that doesn't count anymore.
But
So I don't
wait a
know
minute.
what they
So
would do.
He was older.
Yeah, he
And
was.
so he wasn't a child.
And the way the
as he
story
likes to
was,
train the Padawans.
like there wasn't even like he wasn't even trained properly from what the old story was because he was trained by someone who was a Force user, not necessarily a Jedi.
We need to
like-
Google that.
Yeah,
yeah,
I might bring that in next time. I'll go
Yeah.
find the story because
Yes.
there was
That could be our
something
next
strange
news-
like that.
Not happening
yeah.
news
That's an
topic.
investigation all in itself.
Oh, we could. That's an
So
investigation.
suicide.
I mean, everybody right now is googling it, listening to us. Like we're already looking, man. But no, I'm bringing it.
Yeah, bring
But
'Cause we
that's
could discuss it.
interesting. That's interesting because a lot of characters we know a bit of their background, but not Yoda's.
Yeah, we know nothing, almost
I mean,
nothing
it's- yeah,
anymore,
nothing,
too.
Yeah,
nothing.
it's very
Because you would have to
lore.
really go back 900 years.
Yeah, I mean,
But we could go back to Old
You can.
Republic.
You can. You can. You can go. Who wants to go?
I don't know if
I
I'd
wanna
want to
know
do the
now.
whole trip, but
Now
maybe
I for
like
sure wanna know,
Me too.
give me a 2.5 hour movie that sums up his life but focuses heavily on one part. I'm good. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like a Yoda trilogy. Like I think I would, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it's like it would. I mean, which you can do because he's a puppet in CG, so you don't have to worry about
Exactly.
casting or
Yeah,
anything.
exactly.
But outside of voicing him, I
Come
bet
on,
there's
we
so
have
many.
CGI now.
but
a lot
there's-
we could do.
So many different voice actors who have done his voice all successfully. It wouldn't matter, but like you're talking about one movie takes.
Let's just keep it there. Just stick with the guy we know.
Yeah.
He's always delivered.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
he
come on,
he
David.
He was
he
a great
is.
Gollum.
Great.
We should
Great a
just.
lot of things. He was
Yes.
Great Caesar. He's just good.
I think you should do that. We should do an experiment one day where you just find all the best CG voice characters in the world, just replace them with Andy Serkis.
Yeah,
It'd work. I
that's
think
all
it'd
you have
work.
to
Yeah,
do.
I think it'd work.
That's all you have to do. He has his own studio.
But
I hope.
aside from a Yoda movie, I really want to see a Kenobi movie, and I really hope
Yeah.
they used Ian. Oh my gosh, I would
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I want that so bad. That's the Star Wars movie I want, which is weird
And
because
he said he would do it.
Oh, he's ready. He's
Yes,
ready to go.
wants to do it.
he even looked like Obi-Wan at the red carpet
Yeah.
a few weeks ago or something. He was like, he had Obi-Wan going.
So how do we know he's not doing it?
They're priority.
If I-
Star Wars, they shoot
I
nonstop.
love
No, yeah,
that.
if I-
He rides a motorcycle. Come on.
I-
they shoot nonstop.
If I had to guess, whether they're shooting currently or they're pre-productioning it, they're working on it, and I think he's in it. I
No,
think.
he's not. He
I-
doesn't have that beard and everything because of his show.
Wait, which show?
He's on that TV show. I don't remember.
I didn't even know he was on. I'm so behind with you and
Yeah,
McGregor. I don't even know he
They're
was on.
working on an Obi-Wan Kenobi stuff. They're working on it. Come on.
No, I would bet money that they are,
Yeah,
and I would bet money that
absolutely.
he's already signed on and he's just not saying
Absolutely.
anything.
Yeah, but they can't let any. They can't.
Yeah, you
let
can't
it
leak
out.
anything, yeah.
I wouldn't be
Please.
surprised if that is the next big announcement at Celebration this year.
But
Oh.
no, it won't be It won't be this year. It'll be next year. 2019 is Celebration.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, next
So-
yeah.
But I would really hope to see that. But you know what? We never know. We sometimes with Comic-Con they let it out, or even D23. Some of those.
Yeah,
cons-
D23 is the next big one they do that. But no, I would actually say that's right, it is next year. Even more so because
I think D23 hasn't happened yet. That's still going to go. It's the Disney one.
no, I
And
think
then
that
there's-
happens like summertime. So I think that
and then
one's
Comic-Con.
way off.
So they would maybe announce it there. But I hope they kind of keep it with the book. The book was great. It was like a spaghetti western. I loved it.
Now I'm trying to think. Because next year we're getting 9.
Uh-huh.
So I'm pretty sure they'll release the first big trailer for that at Celebration next year,
Yes.
especially if it's in spring. But we'll probably see a teaser before that. But I don't know with episode 8 because we didn't see anything until way later in compared to episode 7. Episode 7, we saw like a teaser trailer like 6 or 7 months before we saw anything time-wise in
exactly.
8. So I
think
mean,
they were just I think because they were building up, because it was coming from the Force Awakens, so they were getting everybody ready. Am I right with that? Yeah, they were getting everybody ready for the second part of that.
Yeah.
You know, trying to really load us up and get us all amped
Which
for
they
it.
didn't do. They didn't really do with the Last Jedi.
no, yeah, that one had a really
Rollout, huh?
like I don't get me wrong, they put all their money in it and it worked, but it's like, and they're doing the same thing with Han Solo now, but worse.
Yeah.
We got our first trailer 4 months before it even drops, and it wasn't even a full trailer.
Yeah.
So
But
I mean,
honestly think it's going to be good because I like Ron Howard. I really do. He puts out a lot of great movies.
He does.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, there's not a lot of.
Come on, I watched him as
trust.
Opie.
There's not a lot of directors out there you could really, really trust. Ron Howard's definitely one
to
of them.
bring Star Wars
Yeah,
to
he
life.
knows film. Like, he knows
Yes.
film. He's like a
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
that's
And you
what
have
he
to
does.
be able to tap into Star Wars and tap into, most of all, the fans.
But see, that's what I felt like Rogue One was. Because, of course, there was a lot of people that didn't like Rogue One. But
I
thought
loved
Rogue One,
it.
I like Rogue One as a film. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
Logan was a film, and then Rogue One was a film of that year.
oh yeah,
Ron Howard definitely knows film.
Yes.
So I think that's how he's going to treat the Han Solo story. Like,
I don't know why people didn't like
it's
Rogue
classy
One. I
and,
thought
and
it was
edgy
great.
at the same time already with the trailer. Like, he knows film. He
Right.
gets it. He understands.
Is it because so many people die in Rogue One? Is it because all the characters all die?
I don't know. I would say no, but
It's just how it's told. To me, it's how Rogue One is told. Like, you feel bad for them immediately. Like, from the jump, you start to feel bad from the jump with them.
Yeah, but that's what happens when the Empire takes over. They pretty much run everything down and they control everything.
Yeah, it was just a nonstop stunt, like, not hunt, but like it was just a series of events that led to everyone dying.
Right.
know.
But they're going to all the different planets for the Kyber crystals. They're tearing down anything that has to do with the Jedi. They're tearing down anything. But I did like the movie, and I liked all the characters, and especially the end. Oh my gosh! I think the end was like the best.
It's I saw it as just like a war film. Like
that's what it was for me.
was.
That's what it was for
It
me.
was a straight up like World War II esque
Because
film.
in Return of the
Exactly.
Jedi, they talk about how, I can't remember the name of the creatures that were killed in order to bring that information again to the rebels.
Yeah.
You know, so
I want to
they-
see that movie though, where they go get the plans for Death Star 2 with the Bothans and the Bothans all
Yes,
die.
exactly.
I want to see that one.
That would be cool.
But
That'd be
she's
dope.
the way
Rogue
she says
2.
it. There can't be a Rogue 2 because in Empire Strikes Back, remember the ship
Oh,
that's
yeah.
looking
Yeah, yeah.
for Luke and Han Solo, they're Rogue 2.
Well, doesn't he die in that battle? So that title's currently available for the Bothans.
It's now open. Available.
No, I would almost like to see that more than this, more than Rogue One. I'd love to see the Bothans just getting capped, getting the plans.
Yeah.
But how do they get the plans? Because when you see them talking about it, she looks down and she says, you know, many Bothans died to bring us this information. So what happened?
That's a good question. I don't know if they actually have said in this current lore. I hope it's something really messed up like torture, and only because we don't get that in Star Wars.
Yeah.
You get it like half-assed in Empire with Han Solo being tortured by Darth Vader,
Yeah.
but
not fully.
no, you don't get it.
Right. But actually the Emperor
Go dark.
The Emperor has his hand in that though, because he's the one who gave them the information.
Yeah, I remember that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because he wanted to trick them to come there. Because after what happened on Rogue One, they were able to bully them on Scar.
That guy's just a piece of shit.
And you know they blew up.
Like he's taken okay, you gotta think about it. He did everything in his power to prevent, at least as far as we know, or his people did everything in their power to prevent Rogue One from getting the plans.
Yeah.
So he's gonna double down on
But
the
you know what?
second Death Star and
He
go,
didn't
I'm
know
gonna
that.
invite them in and trick them.
But you know what? They tricked him because her father takes the plans and he names it after her, but he pretty much tells her where the plans are.
Yeah.
Now the Emperor doesn't know what he's done and building.
True.
So they trick the rebels trick him the first time. Then he turns around and tricks them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he does.
I don't know. I don't know if I double down on that though. It's like, we've seen that like 6 of these things could already blow up one before. This one ain't even done yet, and I'm gonna trap them here. Like,
But you know what?
the balls on that guy.
But he knew that they would fall for that plan. He knew that because they were building the Death Star.
Yeah.
He knew that they would fall for that to take those plans because the first time they took the plans from him without even, he didn't know what was going on.
Without even knowing
Right.
what's going on.
And when they blow up part of Scarif, they blow up where everything is, all the information. Because remember, it's in that big tower, all their information. So everything is blown up.
See, now I'm just mad because there's no reason they lost that second battle, especially if you bring them into a trap. I don't know why it took 27 years to realize that, but I was like, what the hell were you thinking?
They do things like the hard way sometimes.
But you got to remember, the Emperor is, he's gotten to the point where he is, nothing can hurt me, nothing can harm me.
Oh,
He
yeah,
got
he's
too
definitely up on that
comfortable in
pedestal.
Really comfortable,
Yeah, he got very comfortable in that situation. So that's why, like, nobody's taking me out.
Yeah, but nobody thought he'd throw his ass off into a reactor, too. And that happened. I don't know.
Should've.
But
He might have had space dementia going on here in the last few
did he
years.
really die? Because some of them have the ability to come back, like Bane. Jump
See, that's-
into his apprentice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, like, he's confirmed dead, but he died in a way that if Lucasfilm ever wanted to do something with it, they could just be like, oh, yeah, all you
Well,
saw
look
was
what
him
happened
fall
to Darth
down.
Maul. He gets cut in half, gets thrown down
Yeah.
that thing, and he's alive again.
He's alive again. That's true. That's true. They probably
Like the
definitely
guy
tap
from
into
Pineapple
something.
Express.
Yeah. They tap into some kind of dark energy,
Yes, and there are abilities, and according to the Sith
Yeah,
book,
yeah.
they have that ability to do that.
Yeah.
It's whoever can tap into that.
it.
No, yeah, I'd say,
But
like,
they hide that from each other because that's the way the Sith are.
Yeah,
They
you
don't
won't
want
know
you to.
that I can do it.
Yes, exactly. They don't share those
Yeah.
secrets.
I'd say, like,
They don't trust each other.
20 years
No.
from now, when Lucasfilm is starting to, stretch a little bit, they'll be like, let's retcon Palpatine. You guys saw him throw down the reactor. He didn't die, though. This is Palpatine 2. And then, like, they do that movie.
Exactly. But they do say in some of the games that he has clones.
Oh, yeah, there was a whole story arc series. Was it? I think it was the Thrawn books, Heir to the
Yes,
Throne.
yes.
Where, like, I think it was those ones. I'm not 100% sure. But there was, like, he had a cloning facility and he was, like, jumping bodies. And, like, at one point he even trained Luke Skywalker, like, corrupted Luke Skywalker and trained him, too. After he
Wow.
had jumped into a clone body. So, I mean, like, there's... this has already been tapped into the expanded universe.
They haven't-
So that's why I'm saying,
Whereas
like,
in the corner
they
of the
left it
galaxy, they
open.
haven't
Yeah,
gone
but
to.
they haven't just. Oh no, you think you know, but you have no idea.
That's right. That's right.
See, I'm trying to think of some, because there's so many weird stories like that, like, you could, like, read on Reddit, like, somebody who does have no knowledge of the old lore or anything, and they'll, like, come up with these amazing stories, and like, that already happened, like, 20 years ago.
That's right.
Where have you
Right on
been?
the bus.
I honestly, you name it, that messed up Star Wars story has been written. I mean, I think once we got the second Star Wars thing ever, the Christmas special, everything was up for grabs, and that was like telling the future that don't worry, we got everything from now on.
Everything wrapped up.
But you know, a lot of people didn't like that Christmas.
Oh, it was horrible. I love it, but it was
But you
horrible.
know, kids were just clamoring for anything Star Wars.
Yeah.
They were clamoring.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about the 70s. So you look at it
Oh.
now and you think it's pretty corny, but back in the day, everybody was
Oh,
glued
I'm
to the
pretty
TV.
sure it was gold back then.
Oh no, it
Yeah.
was the epitome
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
70s.
Yeah.
But you
That
know,
was
kids
70s.
just ate up everything. They ate up everything Star Wars because it was something, like I said, we've never seen before.
True.
So now you look at it and like, it's not all that good. But back then, everybody
Yeah.
loved it because anything Star Wars, anything, commercials, toys, everything, we just couldn't get enough
Couldn't get enough of it,
Star
yeah.
Wars.
So that's like the perfect test on a history exam too, is like if you're a
I'd
teacher,
like
just
to take a
write.
class all about Star Wars, wouldn't you?
That would, I
I
mean,
would have passed that with an A.
that would be literally be a question on one of my U.S. history tests. Describe the 70s. The right answer would be watch the Star Wars Christmas special.
Exactly.
That is the 70s. I would do that, but no. Oh, that I've watched it a couple times, and I've started making a habit of watching it every Christmas on a fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it's painful.
Yeah.
It is
But you watch
heart
the whole
wrenching. Oh yeah, more than once, and
It hurts to watch. But
I remember hearing about it though back in the day because I wasn't alive in the 70s,
Yeah.
but I remember like in the early 90s and mid 90s hearing about it when I was really young, and it was that one thing that everybody speaks about but nobody has ever seen. It was like myth, and then
Or
you find somebody, well, everybody at least in the 90s, it happened this way. You hear about it, it's a myth, nobody's seen it, but you finally meet or find that one person who has like a triple bootlegged copy of it on VHS, and that's how you see it.
I've had it all along.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, George Lucas has even said that he's like, I believe it's what he said. He's like, he goes out of his way to like destroy copies of that.
Oh my
So
gosh.
if he's doing it, but yeah, no, it's, oh God, that thing is cringeworthy. But watch it. If you have never seen it,
I've seen
don't let that,
Stop it, yeah,
no,
don't
watch it.
bad.
Seriously, watch it. It's, if anything, you're going to have a lot of discussion material to talk to people
But
about.
you know, like I said, everybody was clamoring for Star Wars, and you know, even though it was kind of corny, it was a thing of that time. You know, you couldn't show a lot of. They had a lot of censorship, so there wasn't a lot you could show, and the way they brought it to light was for kids. It was for little kids.
Yeah.
And little kids, it could have been written bad, but the kids loved it.
They loved it.
Yeah, kids
loved
loved it. Unfortunately, it.
I think they should release it on Blu-ray though. I think it should just commit.
Oh my gosh, everybody will
They
buy
should.
that.
They really. Honestly, it's free money too because everybody's gonna buy it. Even people who don't like Star Wars.
It's bad, man. Oh my God.
You're
You're
gonna-
gonna own a copy.
You're gonna have people who saw Star Wars 77 and that's it, and they're just gonna be in Best Buy one day and see that and go, "I heard this is really fucked up," and they're gonna buy. So I mean, like, everybody, like, it's gonna be free money, but I think they should just embrace it. They should just, take it and just
just take it and try.
and I think after that they should go one step further, and every year in like Cinemark's theaters, for 1 week only, we're airing a Christmas
From
special.
August 3rd to August 6th, you can catch Star Wars: A Christmas Story.
It'll be sold out.
Yeah.
That's the best part. Like, honestly, they could make so much money off that, even though it's so horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Let them do it. They'll do it.
They just need to hire me, man. I might come up with all kinds of good marketing stuff for
Oh
them.
my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You think this is good? Wait till you see some of my messed up stuff. Like Lucasfilm, I can save you money and make you money in
Oh
ways.
my gosh, with the bad Christmas, with the bad Christmas show. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I wish I was in charge of the publicity for that park they're building though, at the Disney. Like they're doing a whole Star Wars land.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't wait. It's gonna be packed. for a long
Yes.
time.
I know that's the worst part. Is like I want to go day one, but I'm gonna be panicking in crowds
Oh my
of
gosh,
people.
that'd be- You know what I want to go to, and I've heard rumors, and hopefully this is going to happen, is a museum, the Star Wars Museum. Supposed to
Oh
be-
yeah, that's the one that Lucas is.
that's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
That one, I would, oh my
I think
gosh.
that one's like
I'd be
slated
a
to open.
Honorary member. I'll be
Yeah.
there all the time.
I almost want to look it up, but I think that one was like slated to open next year or 2020
Yeah.
because like they're building it. It's right next to the football stadium too, I think.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I can't wait for that because that's like
The
Lucas's
Rams.
Museum of Art or whatever.
I think the Rams Stadium.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
right
don't remember
next
which
to it.
one
Near
because
the
they're
Forum,
constantly
near the
fucking
Forum.
changing those
Near
goddamn
the
LA
Forum,
teams.
I think. Yeah.
I can't wait either though.
I know that's one of my top things that like I swear if I die before it happens.
That's why I
Oh,
got my Disneyland pass because I get a discount when I renew it next year.
Oh man.
So I got it now. Yeah.
now I just want to go
I
to
am
Disneyland.
jealous for that. I would love to. I have not been in a while, and so I would love to go, but I
Yeah.
just don't have the time or
The time,
the
yeah,
money.
Yeah,
It's very
it's
expensive.
it's expensive.
Because if you want, especially when you want to do it right, you got to commit. You got to go down there the day before, and then go the next day, stay all day, stay the night, and then
Right,
come
'cause
back.
There's a
Come back,
lot, but
yeah.
I have a lot of friends that go. They go all the time. They must know that place in and out. And
Oh yeah. This
I
one you
have-
know like the back of their hand.
Yeah, I've only been to this one once, but I have family that works at Disney World, so I was going all throughout growing up. I went all the time. Like we get free passes and Disney World. Like that's the thing. Like I didn't mind Disneyland at all because it's the best you can get, and I'm glad that I live here currently, and that's where the first Star Wars park is gonna be. But Disney World, man,
It's crazy.
oh, it's way
when
better.
I went to Celebration, I did not go to Disney World. I'm sorry, I didn't have time. but we were at the Star Wars Celebration in
Yeah.
Florida. I'm kind of sad I didn't go. I didn't go to Universal Studios to see the Harry Potter world. I didn't do any of that. I didn't have time. But I wish I could have.
Oh my! That's like perfect though. That's how like you could tell nerd culture is taking over everything. We got Harry Potter World.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
the Star Wars ones coming. There's already Disney nerds.
Yeah.
We get what we want.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And when you
get
go
what we
to
want.
Magic Mountain, it's all superhero there. It's
Exactly.
all DC.
It's all DC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We get what we want.
That's right. It's out of the closet now.
What was it? There was as like Magic Mountain, even though this is Marvel and different thing completely, but the Universal Studios in Florida had the incredible Hulk roller coaster. Oh my God. I will tell you what, do not ride this ride if you have heart issues or
Yeah,
anything like.
I would never ride that ride.
Oh, I do. I love the Batman one at
The
Universal.
Batman was
Yeah,
fun.
that's cool.
Batman's cool.
I wonder what kind of rides they're gonna have at the Star Wars one though. I'm pretty sure they might have announced or alluded to like with like the renderings of the map and everything,
Right.
but I'm trying to keep myself as far away from
There's
as
gotta be a
possible.
Falcon ride. There's gotta be.
No, oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I don't think there.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, there. I know there was going to be an actual Falcon there though that you can go on. I believe
Right.
they did announce that, but a ride on top of that, like even if it's like one of those
It just
3D
sucks
rides.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so packed.
I know.
It'll be like that for a while, but
Oh, yeah.
then it just never. It just.
I'm
Never,
just-
always go.
I'm just gonna self-medicate and then go or something. You know,
you have to
make
go
it
on
easy.
Like a non-holiday Monday kind of thing.
You definitely have to just go.
Go
like,
when
on
it's
Monday.
raining.
Yeah.
I've actually
Doesn't
been
rain
to
in
a.
California, but go when it's raining.
I was at Disney World once when it rained. I'm always saying this because it was so cool to see. We were in the park. I forget which park it was in. I think it was like the main park that's the equivalent of the one here or there, like Magic Kingdom, where they have all the shops, not the downtown Disney stuff, but like the shops inside the park. Like when you first walk into this one, it's like all cobblestoney and stuff.
Right.
I think it was an area like that, and there was all these open door shops that you just walk into, and it was so cool because it was bright as day, then immediately overcast and thunderstorming for like 30 minutes, and it was so interesting to see like literally thousands of people move out of like they were oh it was so cool.
But I would imagine a good day to go to Disneyland would be when it was raining.
Oh yeah,
Because then a lot of people aren't there.
Yeah.
But then again, you don't know because you could go and it's.
and everybody could have
most of
that
the time
idea.
It's packed.
Everyone's gonna leave when it's raining. We're good. Everyone just stay. Look,
What? Do you
You're
like when you
staying?
pull out an umbrella?
you're not leaving.
I'd love to go to Disneyland in the rain because I don't mind rain at all.
Absolutely.
I mean, if it's pouring, it might get a little soaky,
But see,
but
you got to ask your friends. who
Just
go
keep
all the
going on
time
water
once a
rides.
day.
Exactly. It makes it all worth it.
that's funny too. Because this morning I woke up and I immediately had the image of the Jurassic Park at Universal. I don't know if you guys ever been on
Yeah,
that.
I've been on
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I went on that like when I was a kid in Florida, like young kid. I almost broke my mom's damn hand on that ride because I knew it's that weird thing. Like it's not real, and I'm very logical. Like I knew it wasn't real. My fear wasn't like I was gonna get eaten by dinosaurs. My fear was that T-Rex head is gonna have an engineering issue and fall and kill me.
Because it is pretty close to you, though.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
pretty close to you.
No, yeah, I'm not. It's kind of funny because like people always go, "Why are you scared of stuff like that?" And it's like, I know they're not real. I don't know the people who built this.
Yeah,
That's the issue I'm at.
It's the malfunction.
It's the malfunction of it all. Exactly.
But oh yeah, that was just funny. But yeah, I cannot wait for that Star Wars park to open. I think it's not for another year or two though, too at least.
Yeah, and I have a friend that does all the cement work for it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is that your friend needs to start risking his job and sneaking some photos for me.
That's all we want.
Well, I think they have some really strong rules as to not let any.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But Disneyland, you see they're going to put it in this parking lot, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, how's this all going to fit in here? Because you
Yeah.
see this
Yeah.
small parking lot, and you think, oh my gosh, how are they going to put it all
Well, they're
in
gonna
here?
create-
Because I saw when they first announced it back, it was right when I went to Disneyland the one time I went when I was here, and like I saw where they were going to put it, and I'm like, okay, you have space for it, but it's like you guys have to clear a lot of stuff out and add to this too if you're going to make a
Yeah, they're gonna
decent
have to
sized
put
park. I think
either
they even
underground
said that.
parking or parking like 5 blocks away type of thing.
What's
Yeah.
what's the part of the park that's like, if the Futureland thing is here, there's like a kiddie park up top, and there's like where it's the Small World and stuff at. I want to say I can't remember, but I want to say, yeah, I think they were going to shave that one down too to add for the Star Wars
I think
Land.
you're right. I think you're right.
I
They
want
are
to say
doing
they
a
were
little
going to do
bit of-
that.
I'm not sure. I was just there, but I didn't really see anything.
You're going to have to do some investigating for us
Yeah, I
since
will.
you're the one with the pass.
Yeah. I'll be back.
Just like, come child, we're not going on any rides today. We're doing research. Oh, that would suck so bad for a
Put
child.
on your mask. Yeah.
He's mad. What?
Yeah, I wonder what it's all going to look like though. Oh, but yeah, because I want the Jedi Temple to be there. I think it is. I think it's
Oh,
going to
I
be
would
like the
love
centerpiece.
Yeah, that would really just bring everything.
Wouldn't that be
in.
a great place to have like
Yeah.
a dining place? You could have
Yeah.
dinner in the temple.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's actually the thing I'm looking forward to the most is
they
the like residential parts of that park
Yes.
where like you could sleep and where you could eat and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I'm more interested in that than the rides and
It's
shops.
gonna be authentic. It's gonna be authentic.
Yeah, but
stuff,
in the temple, do you see where they do their training? Will you see where they have their rooms?
Yeah,
where
'cause
they
it's wonder
slept?
how
That'd
big
be
they make it,
interesting,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I imagine if they wanted to pull the Magic Kingdom thing, they'll do like a temple with like a couple rooms in it for like the rich people who I'll never be able to afford.
No,
And
no,
then,
I'm talking about inside, not the hotels.
but like in the temple though.
In the
No, yeah, I'm
temple.
thinking they're gonna put a hotel in there, like they do
In the park?
like yeah, because I think they're shutting them down now. But I know at least in Disney World, the Magic Kingdom, the castle, there was actually like a luxury room there.
See, I didn't even know that.
But I think there was like some weird circumstances where like not anybody can rent it out, or they like would give it out
Is that
for
that,
like a
that
contest.
restaurant in Disneyland that nobody knows about?
Oh, Club 49 or
Yeah,
something like
whatever
that.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, it was a
See?
secret
Yeah,
club.
I
It's the
mean,
only thing I want to get
Now
into it
that
so
you
bad.
have passed, you're gonna have to Google and go
I'm
to all
gonna be
those.
doing a lot of
It's
investigating.
invite only, and I think it's not only invite only, but it's expensive.
Yes.
I want it so bad though, because it's the only place inside the park you can get alcohol. I mean, that may say something about my character right there, but
Yeah.
it's like
No, but that would be kind of cool to go into. I have a friend that went.
I've seen
that-
videos
that
of it
restaurant, yeah.
inside, and it's like even how you get there is crazy.
Yeah, there's a couple of places that are like that. The Disneyland has like some real secret stuff in there. I think that I've seen a book on that of all the different things that are in Disneyland that are the secret spots.
The secret.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
have to look that up, see if I can find it for you, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm actually on LA Weekly right now looking at that.
Oh, the Google.
Yeah. The power of Google.
That's right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today on Radio Geonosis. Yeah, where we talk about Star Wars from a certain point of view. We'll be doing top 10 favorite songs next week. So we'll see everybody then.